Goosebumps, ladies and gentlemen. I mean goosebumps. Tonight was the greatest night for me as an MMA fan. I mean, this rivals Charles Oliveira finally becoming world champion, but I expected that from him. He was on a huge run. I expected that from him. This rivals Charles Oliveira missing weight against Justin Gaethje, getting stripped, back against the wall, being known as a quitter, and going out there and knocking out and submitting Justin Gaethje in the same fight. This rivals all that because of what it means, the adversity. 2 back-to-back KO losses. Is he still that same guy? Which I always knew he was that same guy. I thought the narrative was, does he still have a chin? But no, the narrative was, is he still that guy? Which is a horrible narrative. And he goes out there and puts on a masterclass. I mean, he went to war in the pocket with Diego Lopes and lived to tell the story about it. Not only did he live to tell the story about it, he got his hand raised and became champion. He made history. Over the age of 30, he made history. 1-17. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a great night. We're gonna recap the bets and we're gonna recap the card. I'm not gonna edit this one. I'm gonna keep this one unedited because of the raw emotion that I'm feeling tonight. This is great. What you're seeing right here is we had 7 bets. We went 3 and 4 on bets, but it was a lot of small dog wagers. But every parlay we had hit, every single one. Right here, this is what if every bet would have hit, what we would have returned. This is the reality. We netted 1.2 units. Casual parlay is now 8 of his last 13. I mean, it's been a great night. Chase Hooper and Michal Oleksiejczuk do exactly what I said. Cedric Dumas is not UFC level. He did not look like he belonged in there. He looked very uncomfortable on the feet. And that's the result that we expected. Chase Hooper, a bit of a tougher matchup, but shows that he has great cardio, great composure, and great positioning skills, great scrambling skills, gets it done. Our should win wins as well. Nora Corno subs Haley Cohen. Marco Tulio puts up beating on Trayshawn Gore like we've never seen. We profit here. And this is where the losses start coming in. We had Darren Elkins plus 5.5, which looks like a horrible pick. I think he was severely concussed after that up kick because Darren Elkins is not the guy that's going to be wobbled from a shot 2.5 minutes after it. So I think he was severely concussed. I think he should really hang it up. And then here we had Mitch Raposo plus 5.5 and the fight not to go to distance, another parlay that hit. And then we missed on every single straight underdog play, but it's okay with small units. We still on up big in the long run. This Michael Chandler bet looks very, very ugly. We're going to get into it. It looks very, very ugly. Overall, great night. Casual parlay cashes. We profit. Let's just get into the card, man. Like I said, unedited. Yes, I'm on Google Slides. Say something about it. Main event. Alexander Volkanovski. I gave him 1, 2, 3, and 5. I do give him 2. Yes, the knockdown scored late. It was a flash knockdown, but it never looked like Volk was in severe jeopardy of getting the fight ended compared to round 4, which I did give Lopes. Volk actually looked severely compromised, and it looked like the end could be near. In the second round, Volk outstruck, outlanded, and outclassed Diego in every single round. And even in the fourth where Lopes landed that huge uppercut, Volk was still outstriking him and outclassing him, but he won that fourth round. But the second round, I still give to Volk. Either way, there's no argument for Volk losing a 48-47. There's just zero argument for it. Volk makes history. Volk is the greatest featherweight to ever touch this planet. Oh, my God, dude. Let's get on to... Oh, my goodness. What else do I say? Do you come from a land down under? This is amazing. And it's bittersweet because I love Diego Lopes. But he wasn't ready. He just wasn't ready. He's not championship ready. He just wasn't ready. Wasn't aggressive enough. Wasn't setting up his big shots. You know, it was a lot of big shots one at a time that Volk saw coming a mile away and was countering him very, 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 very badly. Volk is at the top of his game. And I'm very, very excited for the run. This co-main event, ugly pick from your boy. I mean, when I say Paddy the Baddy, physically imposed his will and just ran through Michael Chandler like he was nothing. And yes, it was Michael Chandler, but nobody made it look as easy as Paddy the Baddy did. Still bad mechanics, still chin in the air, winging hooks, which isn't good against a great counter striker, a guy that's gonna be able to match that physicality, which I thought Michael Chandler was, but Michael Chandler was very, very hesitant, was not matching that physicality, didn't get any striking going. Man, Paddy dominated Michael Chandler, brutally finished him. Paddy the Baddy is a real contender in the lightweight division. He is. I still stand by the fact that I think anybody in the top 6 really, really makes Paddy pay for his bad boxing mechanics. But then again, I can see him beating somebody like Justin Gaethje. But I can see him maybe grappling his way to beating a Dan Hooker. But Charles Oliveira biting off too much. But I don't know, because he's getting better in each fight, and that's what you need to see from a guy like Paddy the Baddy. But as of right now, Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria, Arman Tsarukyan sounds like a lot to bite off. But he absolutely dominated Michael Chandler. This was a great card. Yair Rodriguez puts on a masterclass against Patricio Pitbull, and Patricio Pitbull ate some shots that I'm not sure anybody else in the division eats. I mean, that 1-2 head kick flush was insane. Now, Yair eventually landed a 1-2, dropped Patricio Pitbull bad. Almost got a finish. That referee in that the referee in that fight was the same referee that stopped the Sean Woodson fight. He doesn't need to ever referee again. He was close to stopping that fight. I'm glad he let it keep going. But Yair Rodriguez literally put on a masterclass and showed that he's still here. His takedown defense was money too, which was very, very, very impressive. Even got a takedown of his own. He looked very, very good. Looked very physical in that fight, which is something that we questioned from Yair Rodriguez in the past. Looked very, very physical. So that's what you want to see from... That's what you want to see from Yair Rodriguez. Bryce Mitchell got embarrassed. And I really thought that we were just overthinking this. Gene pulls, guillotine, blah, blah, blah. His takedown defense is really, really bad. But I think that was against a fighter that he did not respect. Bryce Mitchell was a fighter that he did respect the grappling of it. And he showed, dude, I am nasty. My neck attacks are nasty. His first guillotine, tight as hell. Reminds me of Arman and Charles. Remind me of Volk and Ortega. Yes, and I do mean it. His first ninja choke attempt was nasty. Very, very nasty. Eventually choked him unconscious with the ninja choke. Tight as hell. And his takedown defense was on point, shucking Bryce Mitchell off like it was nothing every single time. Looked very strong in there. And even the time that he did get down, right back up to his feet like it was nothing. Gene Silva is here. Gene Silva is a monster. Gene Silva will be competing in his weight class for a title. And I can confidently say that. He embarrassed Bryce Mitchell. And kind of played with his food at the same time again. Nasty. Nikita Krylov. This is why I didn't bet on this fight. Because the Dominator, man, he has it. Nikita Krylov led in every single time. Big, naked overhand right. Lunging in, chin in the air. Naked overhand right. Against the southpaw. What are you doing? And he did it 3 or 4 times before Dominic finally said, oh my gosh, he's going to do it again? Okay. Knocks him out bad. Sits him down bad. Nikita Krylov, horrible game plan. Horrible execution. Horrible. And I do mean horrible. He looked slow. Dominic stunned him with a jab. Nikita Krylov looked terrible. And I think he's a much better fighter than what he showed tonight, but he looked horrible. It's not much to say about this. And I still don't know if Dominic Reyes' chin is back because it was not tested in this fight. But we do know what we've known all along. Dominic Reyes is live for a finish at all times, especially in that first round. The Dominator gets it done. The title run continues. Dan 50K E-game. Bad stoppage. Bad stoppage. Now, Dan Ige was up 2-0 on every single judge's scorecard, which was very, very interesting to me. Thought it could have been 1-1. 2-0 was very, very interesting. So with that in mind, I guess it wouldn't have mattered. But at the same time, it was a bad stoppage. Sean shooting a takedown is never a good sign. Definitely hurt. Beautiful left hand. I want to say left hook right on the chin. Kind of an overhand hook, kind of. Look, he really threw a hook, but it turned into an overhand because of the height of Sean Woodson. Yeah, Sean shooting a takedown is never a good sign. So the writing may have been on the wall, but I think it was a bad stoppage, premature stoppage. I think he was very well on his way to a stoppage. And Dan Ige being up 2-0 was kind of surprising to me. Maybe a fight that I have to rewatch. I had no money on this fight, so I wasn't really keyed in, locked in, scoring. But it felt like Dan was right outside of range, landing every now and then. Sean was trying to keep him at range, hitting a lot of air, but he would pop that jab nice every now and then. But Dan Ige, man, the big power. And I'm kind of okay with Sean Woodson losing. I don't know what it is. It's not even the person. I just don't like the fact that his frame and where he used to fight and all of that is at featherweight. I don't know. I don't know. But you make the weight, that's your weight. You know what I mean? But it's like, kind of sucks watching that. Yan Xiaonan gets dominated, brutally dominated by Verna Jandiroba. And, I mean, that's what I predicted. Exactly what I predicted. Yan Xiaonan is just really, really good on the feet. But in the striking, she is just a liability. And Verna is the second best grappler in that weight class. I'm still putting Whaley over. Is the second best grappler in that weight class. And, dude, Baby Shark, Tabitha Ricci was landing takedowns. And her takedown technique is not good. Okay, we saw what Whaley did to her on the ground. Verna Jandiroba did the same thing. Got dominant positions on the ground, threatened submissions, almost had this fight finished on numerous occasions, and beat her up. I mean, clear as day, Verna Jandiroba. And I wish I would have bet it using hindsight because I picked her and I thought this would be the path to victory. But Yan Xiaonan being so elusive and so fast on the feet did scare me. But I should have just stuck with my guns. Jim Miller, Chase Hooper. Not the performance Chase Hooper was looking for, but a great learning experience. Chase Hooper showed some good striking here, showed some great grappling, showed some great transitions, showed some great scramblings, showed that he has really good cardio when the going gets a bit tough. I'm not going to say tough, but when the going gets tough and the finish isn't there, he showed that he has what it takes to grind. And that's really what you want to see from a young guy like that. I mean, he really did grind. And he beat Jim Miller, man. I mean, he just beat Jim Miller. The first round, you can probably argue for Jim Miller. And I'll be okay with that. But clear 2 and 3, I think he won a 30-27, though. So, not really much to talk about. Grinding him, taking his back, getting good positions. Grinding. Some of his sub attempts were I really wish he would have been able to pull off that twister. That would have been freaking fire. But he didn't get it. But overall, good win for Chase Hooper. Thank you for cashing the casual parlay. We needed to get back in the win column. Moving on, Darren Elkins, Julian Erosa. I don't want to talk about this too much. An up kick land for Darren Elkins in the first round. Darren Elkins was easily taking Julian Erosa down, but I think Julian Erosa was letting him take him down. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, lad? It was letting him take him down. But I don't know why this isn't loading. But there it is. Up kick lands for Julian Erosa early in the first round, and I think Darren Elkins just never recovered. I think he was like severely concussed. Yeah, he was out of it. And it was pretty scary because Julian Erosa isn't a very powerful guy. and Julian Rosa was kind of rocking him around with wind, but Darren Knuckles was clearly still just never back. 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes later after the upkick was just never back, and that's just not what we're used to from the damage. And I think if he fights again, it could be very detrimental. I don't think he needs to fight anymore, but it's not my place to say that. But as a person who cares about his health, and I'm a big fan of him as a fighter, I don't really want to see that again. You know what I mean? What do I need to say? Not UFC level. A lot going on outside of the cage. I question his focus. Not UFC level. Did not look comfortable at all in there. Didn't shoot a single takedown. Every time Mihal would feint something slow, and like you could tell he's really not going to throw it. Cedricus would cover up and flinch and flinch. He never looked comfortable in there, and that fight gets stopped 10 out of 10 times in that position. You're not defending yourself. You just shelled up. You looked very, very, very uncomfortable, and Mihal just got you out of there. Kind of in a nice way, like he could have been more brutal, but I kind of feel like he felt the sense of, yeah, this ain't it. And a bit disrespectful to Mihal Oleksiejczuk. I told you so. This was the best odds with the most confident fighter here at -180 in Mihal Oleksiejczuk. And I got him at like -190 something, thinking he was going to be -300, -400 come fight night. The odds closed, which was crazy. Sumaderji, trash. Sumaderji is garbage. That nigga is terrible. He is so bad at fighting. He did good. Bad takedown defense, but he did good getting back up to his feet. Mitch Raposo, top pressure was really bad. His top pressure was really bad. His control was really bad. Sumaderji easily getting back to his feet every time he was taken down. But with that being said, he was dominated in the grappling. But you cannot give the fight to somebody who lands under 10 significant strikes. It's just doesn't work like that. So I think the right guy won, but I don't think the better fighter won. Mitch Raposo, super young in his career, gonna have to learn from this. You're gonna have to do more. If you're not gonna control him anyways, okay, throw strikes, try to do damage while you have him there. If you're not gonna control him anyways, which you weren't, and we found that out early in the fight that you're just not gonna be able to keep this guy down. So Sumaderji really worked on that part of his game, but yeah, nah, brother, it's not it. He landed 13 strikes in a 15-minute decision fight. That's horrible. Marco Tulio with the beautiful performance. Bro, I feel like Marco Tulio should get a performance of the night. Gene Silva got one, and somebody Patty the Batty. Okay, those are tough to deal with. Those are tough because there was a lot of meaning in those fights, but I think Marco should have got one as well. The beating he put on Tresean Gore. The beautiful combinations, the spinning wheel kicks, the Superman punch into the body kick. Dude, it was so many combinations that I can't even remember, but it was very loose, very creative, very crafty, check left hooks. Marco Tulio, shoot the box. He put on for shoot the box well. He did well. He did very well. Cleaned up Tresean Gore in the second round. Domination. And honestly, I don't know how Tresean Gore made it that far. Marco Tulio hit a head kick, and it wrapped around the back of Tresean Gore's head. Hit the back of his head so hard that blood flew out of his nose. Powerful. Every shot was fight-ending. Tresean Gore hung tough until he couldn't hang tough anymore. Nora Cornell comes out there. First round, I was nervous. Had money on Nora Cornell. First round, I was nervous because it looks like she was forcing the grappling, and she ended up on bottom. And then in the second round, she comes out, and she's beating her up bad on the feet, stepping elbows, beating her up in the dirty boxing, and then forces the wrestling again. And I'm like, okay, bros, you're going to get reversed? And you're going to end up on bottom again, and that's how I'm going to lose my money? And no, she just takes the bat, slides her hooks in, and chokes her out. So, my bad. That's on me. My bad for doubting you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a crazy night. And I've just never been happier. Shout out to Alexander Volkanovski. Shout out to Diego Lopes. You will be back. I have no doubts in my mind. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to somebody I know they enjoyed just like you did. We'll be back next week, even though there's no UFC next week. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here, man. Yeah.